This is the most powerful handheld blower in the world, and this is claiming to be the most powerful walk-behind mower. I've come here, I've got Barry from Ego, he's the general manager, and you're going to show me the whole lineup. Let's get into it. Let's start with this guy.
Yep.
Now, this is your battery.
You betcha.
It's a little bit different from some of the other ones I've seen in the past.
Yeah. Yep. So what you'd be referring to is what they call a brick-shaped battery, right? Yeah. So they're square. You've got all your cells inside. Some generally have cells within the cells, so it's a challenge for that heat to escape. But what we've got is that arc design. Now, this is heavily painted, so for 10 years, no one's been able to copy it, so it still remains unique and proprietary to Ego. What this does is it allows all the cells to be around the circumference of the housing, which means that the heat can escape, because you'll notice that we have heat vents that are open to allow that heat to escape. But internally, every cell is electronically monitored. And not only that, we also have a material phase change, which starts off solid. And when the battery gets to 50 degrees, it starts liquefying, cooling down that cell. So there's many protection mechanisms within the battery, and it still remains unique to Ego. Ranges from 2.5 amp up to 12 amp today. Who knows what we're going to do going forward.
Last time I was here, we had it in the background of the podcast that we did.
Yeah.
You touched on it, but now it's out.
It's out.
You can buy this now.
It's out.
Give me a rundown. I mean, there's a lot going on here. Let's start with this guy.
Yep. So look, I guess one of the biggest pain points when it comes to anyone out on the road that wants to convert into battery, whether it's because of noise pollution, OH&S, any of the above, the anxiety of how do I charge my batteries on the go? Yeah. How many batteries do I need? Well, we believe we've got a game changer here at an affordable price, and it's scalable. So it doesn't matter whether you're a one-man band or whether you're a cancel that has multiple crews, you can then scale this to suit your business. It starts with a 1600 watt charger, plugs into a standard 10 amp plug. You can then connect that, as we have, into 3 ports. So we've daisy chained it onto the second port, and you will notice that we've also gone to the power bank. Now, you can have up to 24 of these 3 ports, which means you can charge up to 70 batteries. And in a 12-hour period, you could charge up to 200 amp hours. But it's a case of place it on, set and forget, walk away, come back in the morning, everything will be charged.
So basically, to simplify this, on one plug, I can just buy one if I wanted to. I could buy 2 or up to, how many did you say?
24.
Up to 24 of these, which is a hell of a lot of batteries.
It is a lot of batteries.
And from one plug, they will charge
sequentially
all the way down. So if I'm a contractor, and this is, like I talked about this before, on a lot of different podcasts, one of the most annoying things about battery is when you have 6 different chargers, you've got a 4-port multi-port, you forget which ones you've put in, right? Mm-hmm. And then you put one on charge, you walk away, you realise that wasn't plugged in. Next morning, so this is solving a whole problem.
Solves all of it.
You have your wall at home or at the warehouse, wherever you got, chuck this on, and you can charge all your batteries, one hit, no worries, done.
Absolutely. The beauty of this, as we even display here, is you can either do it in workshop or back home, or you can have it in your trailer. So then all you need to do is throw an extension lead into this bad boy, and that will still perform the same duties as it would in workshop, as opposed to on board as well.
I don't know if you know this off the top of your head. Could this run potentially off an inverter?
Yeah, absolutely. We're setting our vans up off a 3,000 watt inverter.
So 3,000 watt inverter.
Yep.
I don't know what the price of that is.
Yeah,
but
it's not our game.
You get one of those, you get it installed in your truck, whatever, plug this into the back of the trailer. Sweet.
Absolutely. So, you know, we apply the Anderson, so you can charge it on the go. If you've got your deep cycle and your inverter, you can charge it when you're at a job. And then more importantly, you can then plug it into 240 volts when you're home.
Yeah.
So it's scalable, but it's very flexible too, right? But the beauty is that whilst this is a setup as such, it's more about DC to DC. And this is where the power bank comes into it. So again, this can be done at home, it can be done on board. But what we now have is a 40 amp hour high capacity battery that takes 2.5 hours to charge up overnight. That then charges our separate batteries. And to give you an example, 5 amp being the preferred size for most, it'll charge up 7 by 5 amps in that day. Now, if that's not enough, 7 by 5s, you can then stack it, so then double it. Now, to charge up two
By
5s,
stacking it, you mean
I can put another one on top.
right?
And
so
then I can also
literally
dose
stack up
You betcha.
bolt holes.
Yep, so I'll get to that in terms
Okay,
of security.
all right.
But the 2 5s will charge up in 30 minutes. One charger charges one battery in 30 minutes.
Right.
So we're doubling everything for the efficiency of the commercial guy. Now, in terms of security, we can then also lock that in place. So when it's on charge on the back of the ute, in the van, and if they're away from their vehicle, you have full security. You put a padlock in there, and these are no longer removable.
Yeah.
So you can charge while you're away. You can also bolt chain to anywhere you have on your vehicle.
I literally had stuff stolen last week before we came from my truck. So that's the sort of, unfortunately, that happens.
It does.
You have to account for that. The
And
other
we
thing,
have.
With this, what's the waterproof rating?
Yeah, so it is IPX4.
And what does that mean for
So that
those?
means splash proof. Now, anything you see in terms of battery and charger is IPX4, but when we touch on the tools, they're now IPX5, which means pressurized proof. Now, that's more about the weather than it is spraying them down.
Yeah.
All right, so, if you're going to use a hose or a pressure washer on any battery product, as you do with petrol and water don't mix, and same with the electronics. So we don't recommend it. We recommend other ways of cleaning, but we're catering for that weather.
Yeah.
Whether it's raining or not, and you've just seen the Melbourne weather this morning, right?
Thanks. I'm depressed already.
Yeah.
End of November, and we're getting so much rain. It's ridiculous. Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on from that. These stack, they lock. You bolt this to the back of your tray or in a box or whatever.
You can bolt it down. Yeah, we've given that provision. So, unfortunately, you're right. Theft is a part of life, and we try to cater for that.
I think when I was last here, you didn't give me a price point.
Yep.
You said we weren't ready yet.
Yep.
I think I said I was hoping it was going to be $20 as a joke. What are we actually looking at now?
So we got 4 configurations. Firstly, you need one of these bad boys. Now, when it comes to the charger and a 3-port hub,
So just this one?
yep, so just one and a charger, you're looking at $899. A 3-port charger on its own is $349 because it's scalable. Now, with those 3 ports, they come with an extra charging cable with the power bank. So again, you need charger plus the 40 amp. So with the charger and the 40 amp, that's 2.5. With just the power bank alone, that's 2. Now, if you talk about 3,000 watt inverters, deep cycle battery, solars, Anderson plug, you're talking around 5K to get that,
Yes.
to buy it.
Yes.
Then you've got to pay labour costs of auto electricians. And after yesterday's experience with an auto electrician, they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. So when you talk about DC to DC, and if you're talking 2 of them, we're then matching that of a full setup on inverter versus solar, etc.
Well, I guess there's a certain price point where a large commercial outfit, they don't care. They want the reliability, but it's this, someone starting out, is quite realistic.
Yeah, well, I guess in summary, we're providing a solution to the biggest challenge. How do I charge and how many batteries do I need on the go? Set and forget, DC to DC, security, scalable,
Simple.
affordable.
Yeah.
All right, so Luke, the other thing that's quite unique with Ego is that we have a versatile way of powering up our product. We actually have 4 ways, which is quite unique to our brand. So I'm going to point to it on the screen here. And I happen to be around the outdoor power equipment and even lifestyle jungle now. But there's 4 ways. So we can start off with our commercial backpack. Goes on the back, takes the weight off the tool, and that will power most of our tools anywhere between 5 to 7 hours a day, except for the mower. That's battery direct. But then as a lot of the commercial guys have gone towards, the backpack link. So that'll take our onboard batteries, taking the weight off your tool, putting it on your back, especially with a heavy 12 amp. So again, that gives a lot more lightweightness to that tool depending on the application. With the chainsaw and some of the hedges, we also have the little holster that can also sit on there. And of course it comes with a dummy battery. And again, if you feel this, Luke, this is extremely lightweight. So that's the backpack link. But that's the dummy battery that can go directly on.
Yeah.
So again, it makes everything so much lighter. But now with our new range of commercial product, it's battery on board. So we've got 4 ways that we can power our product. And that just gives a lot more versatility depending on the individual and the application.
I'm going to jump ahead for something real quick.
Sure.
Because what I like with this is the new, say hello to my little friend, world's most powerful handheld blower. People who would never use it, because I posted it when we talked about this.
Sure.
And they go, oh, it's going to be so heavy, it's going to be this, that, whatever, without having your hands on it. And don't judge a tool before you get your hands on it, right? If you want that massive runtime, you could treat this like a backpack, because you could put the backpack on your back and then have the blower running.
So let's grab the biggest battery, right? 12 amp. We're talking 3.5 kilo. I mean, hold that.
Yeah,
you can imagine the weight that that's going to put onto it.
If I put that there, that's my centre of gravity.
Absolutely.
Let's compare that with this.
Spot on. So what that's going to do though, is that's going to increase user fatigue.
Yeah.
By putting it on your back, throw that on there.
Whoever was using this before me, it's far less KFC than I do.
Maybe it was me.
Oi.
All right, and then slide that straight on. I mean, that's all of 200 grams, right? 200 grams versus nearly 4 kilo. Now what do you got?
Yeah.
Balance. You've got less weight and you've got more balance on your back. Now, I mean,
And
you
I
just slid that
can
on.
easily hold that. I mean, obviously when the force of the blower is going to feel different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is not a, it's a different machine basically.
And you haven't had time to adjust it. It's comfortable.
No, I haven't.
Small guy, big guy, it's going to suit it all. It's plenty of padded, breathes well too. What it means is it means less battery changeover. I mean, this thing blows at 1,700 cubic metres per hour, and you're right, it is the most powerful blower on the market today. It's got a few extra features. It's got lock-on, turbo, variable speed in the trigger. I didn't mention the the LED display as well. So it'll tell you your blow speed, it'll tell you your battery life. It's got a light on it as well. So in case you happen to be in the morning, in building shadows, under trees,
Awesome.
it's feature packed.
This guy, I see the forums lighting up with it. You're advertising it as 17.
0.3 Newton meters of torque.
Right, and that's more than what some petrols are advertising.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And that's where
absolutely.
the claim of most powerful mowers coming from.
Yeah.
This guy, tell me about him.
Okay. So 53 centimetre, 22 inch, it's peak power. So we've got 2 configurations. You can buy it at skin at $14.99, or you can buy it in kit form. So that's 2 12s, 2 turbos at $28.99. But to get your optimal performance out of it, you've got your 2 12s in there, and you can get up to 135-minute runtime. Although we're conservative on that, and we're seeing and hearing that guys are getting a lot more out of it and multiple lawns per day. But it's high torque, making it the most powerful. So we've got 2 height adjustments, both front and rear. We believe that this will give the user a lot more flexibility in the type of application, whether it's maintenance or whether it's slashing. Obviously, if they're slashing, they can raise the front to allow the airflow and just to lift it up a little bit. Massive 80-litre bag on the back.
I did notice that.
Yeah, huge. But if you have a look at it in general, Luke, I mean, she's sturdy. But I think what we've also got to just bear in mind here, this is our first generation, and it's our most powerful. I've just returned from 2 weeks in China. Watch out.
Stop getting me excited, Barry.
I just did. But watch out. But I mean, this is, look, like anything new, we've got some great feedback from the market. We've already made some changes. So when it comes to the deck bush, the height adjustment, so, we're already making some changes to improve its performance overall.
Cost on this thing?
All right, yeah, so again,
Depends
skin.
on the battery, the configuration.
Yep, so the skin is $14.99. In kit form, 2 12s, 2 turbos, $28.99. We're selling more kits than we are of the skins. Better value.
Yep.
I mean, when you look at the cost of a 12 amp, you're now talking $7.99 each. So there's $1,500 just in batteries alone. Then there's another $450 just in charges.
Yeah. What I'm looking at here as well.
Yep.
Previous battery mowers, I'm going to get back so Ethan's got a chance to get him in view. You did talk about sturdy construction. I've talked about this a few times. Some brands will cheap out on the arms or his arms, whatever you
Yeah.
call them.
Yep.
The handle, because they want to make it lighter, save money on it. This is,
This is sturdy.
and you've always had, obviously, mowers in your range, and people might go, this is not the first one. This is the first one that you've bred as commercial.
First commercial,
So with commercial, what's the warranty?
2 years.
And obviously being electric or battery operated, maintenance is incredibly low. Blades, things like that.
Well, that's what we're hearing.
All right.
That's what we're hearing.
Talking about blades, can we have a look?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So let's flip her over. Now you can't do this with a petrol unit, right?
Whichever way you want. Yeah, exactly. Go for it.
So we've got a high lift blade that we've designed. Now, when we first released this, everyone was asking for a gator blade. This bad boy is multifunctional. So you can catch, you can mulch. We got the inquiries, we said, no, give it a go. And they've all come back and said, you're right, I can do both with it. So it's a high performing blade. And again, as long as it's maintained, it will keep up with that performance. The cost of the blade, it's as cheap as sharpening up a blade. So, they're available as a consumable.
Height of cut.
Height of cut. So we've gone down as low as 20 mil.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Now, have there been some people who have tried to make it lower with spacers and things like that?
We're hearing more on the XP and the select cut than we are on this. In fact, I personally haven't heard too many trying to lower it even more. Because with the select cuts, both the standard and the XP, they're at 25 mil.
Yeah.
So 20 mil seems to be hitting most. We did do some testing in China to try and get it low, and there was a lot of discussion around it because Europe's much the same as us, whereas the Americans love to cut it long. If we reduce it, you're going to reduce significant runtime.
Well, what you find as well is most people, they're not maintaining their lawn less than that with a rotary. You might be getting into cylinder mower territory. I know you worked with Alice on that as well. But they might want to do a scalp. And they might look at this and go, amazing torque. I want to do a scalp mow.
Yep.
But having said that, I've only ever seen one mower advertised less than 20 millimeters, which was commercial, and I believe that's now been discontinued. So 20 millimeters is as low as the market's going at the moment with battery.
Look, I guess we're certainly competitive in that market, but again, what we won't do as a brand is we won't compromise a minority for the majority. So there's a lot more on offer here, even with a 20 mil, that if we were to reduce it, the height of cut, it's going to have more of a negative effect than what we offer today. So, we won't release products. Again, we won't compromise anything unless it meets the market expectation. And 20 mil meets the majority.
So we've got adjustable handles, handle down here, telling me off air, protection for the motor.
This is a protection to the motor itself.
Obviously, batteries going there.
Yeah, peak power.
We said before, but it's IPX5, which means
IPX5, which means it's pressurized proof.
I can work in the rain.
Big time.
And weight.
Weight. Okay, so weight, it's 46 kilo without battery. And then depending on the batteries you use, but if you go with the kit, the 2x12s, you're then talking 53 kilo.
Can this run on one battery?
Yes, it can, but you're not going to get full performance out of it.
And not a lot of runtime, I'm guessing.
Not a lot of runtime.
I'm just saying that from a perspective of if I wanted to, I don't know, had a couple of stairs to lift up, a small backyard, I could put a light battery in, save some weight. And
Ironically, seen a post this morning that spoke exactly to that. And even one of the guys had recommended take the batteries out, carry the unit up, take the batteries up separately, and that's going to remove 9 kilo.
All right. If people want to get their hands on this, can they do a demo? Make sure there's other contractors out there who might like lend another contractor a hand as well.
Well, I guess the beauty of what we offer is we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So we're quite challenged at the moment, especially at this time of year, to get out to see everyone and anyone, I should say. So we're restricted in what we can do, but that's why we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. And you know what? Since we introduced that in November last year, 12 months ago, our rate of return is negligible. It's minimal, hence the reason why we continue it.
Now here we got the lifeblood of any lawnmower contractor, a line trimmer, and this has been very popular.
Certainly has been. We've got a lot of positive feedback on it. Look, I guess with battery, it's not for everyone. So we do get some of that constructive feedback. But all in all, 80-90% of it has all been positive. So, but again, it's our first generation, right? So it's our first crack at a true commercial line trimmer with battery on board. So We've given the user 3-speed selection. It's carbon fibre, so we take weight out, put durability in. Obviously, you've got an auxiliary handle that you can rotate depending on your application, but we've gone with a massive 45 centimetre swath as well. Okay, so understand that some may remove the guard, but that's why we went the extra cutting swath, is simply to prevent that, because we know that once it's removed, not only does it null and void the warranty, but insurance purposes as well.
It's also like that you're not unique in that.
No.
I'm not aware of a brand that would be okay warranty-wise with a guard being removed, petrol or battery.
Yeah, and look, I guess our previous executions with direct plug-in, they were 38 centimetres. So we've gone a lot larger on our first battery on board. So variable speed in the trigger, so you can feather it as well. But you know, we're hearing the guys are using number 2 in the majority of cases. So
that's what I'm using. I like this.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of guys, they are whippy edger guys. I'm a blade edger guy.
Yeah.
So show me this guy.
All right, so we were the first one to release a full dedicated edger. And what's been a bit of a mind blow is actually the volume that we've sold in this. It's a lot more than we anticipated, so we've had to increase forecast. But look, the set out is almost the same as the line trimmer. So we go 3-speed, variable speed, carbon fibre, good balance, 20 mil cup capacity. What else do you want? It's a dedicated edger.
Well, for those who don't know, because they might have seen a lot of people doing the whippy edging, I find that these are easier to use for people who are not practiced.
Yep.
They leave a slightly better result.
Agree.
In most cases. And there's actually a little bit of speed.
Yep.
Now, if you've got to walk 100 metres out to the back, you might want to use a line trimmer to do that. Yep. But if you've got your trailer right there, go. So I'm a dedicated blade edger guy every day of the week.
Well, again, we've been a little surprised about the amount we've sold. There's a skill set to it. You can't just jump from that into that and hope that you're going to get it done. So there's a skill set, but once you get used to it, it's quite an aggressive machine, and it can be a bigger battery suck than that of a line trimmer as well.
There's
so
a
you've
lot
got to
of
be
weight on there.
Yeah, correct.
Now, finally, we don't have time to cover everything, but you've released this big boy here.
You betcha. So that's the brush cutter, ball handle or bike handle, but it's versatile. So you can go the 300mm tri-blade, or you can go to the STX.
This is
line
for people
trimmer.
who don't pay the invoices?
Basically, yeah, toe cutters. So, but you can change it from tri-blade into a standard trimmer blade as well, so or trimmer spool. So, but that'll take up to your 45mm, so it's the same trimmer head that the STX, and then of course you got your bike handle. But you can operate this battery on board, backpack. It depends on the clearance. Great for slashing.
Show us these hedge trimmers.
12 months ago, we released these 2 bad boys, really hitting the market CTQ, the critical quality, and that was about blade speed. We were not prior, but we listened, and we've now executed. So both of these units have 3 speeds, 3200 SPM, strokes per minute, 3600 and 4000. So again, it gives the user a lot more versatility depending on their application.
And the opening...
So, yep, 28. They both have a 28mm cut.
Yeah, and this guy here...
Yeah.
I've said this a few times on the podcast. This is my favourite style because as a guy with back issues, you can cut low without having to bend over. And obviously bending over 3 seconds is not an issue, but when you have a massive job all day, then obviously you've got the reach at the top. So
You betcha.
I think these are getting more popular. I think a lot of people have bought the standard handheld ones, but the versatility of these machines, tall hedges, if you've got to go one, that's the sort of thing I'd be going for.
The beauty about these machines too is, again, we've gone the carbon fibres, so weighed out, durability in, but it's a good balanced trimmer. And of course on battery, well, you can get extended run times out of them as well, right? So,
while we're talking about cutting things, okay.
The beast.
Show me this big chainsaw. This is scary, mate.
It is scary.
Okay, show me about it.
Again, our first generation commercial unit. As you can see, it's been used a bit, but this is equivalent to a 60cc petrol job, but it's the chain speed, 30 metres per second. Wow. So this thing is delivering some grunt. It's pretty hard to kill. I've been cutting 400, 450 mil season logs. It's a struggle to stall it. Yeah, to stall it. Obviously your brakes, your spikes, automatic oiling. We've got an LED here as well, so that'll show you your speed. So you can change that depending on your application. It'll show the load. So if you're pressing down on it too hard, it'll tell you, get off. Let the blade do the work and let the machine do the work. And then of course, you also have your battery gauge as well.
And there's a light.
There is a light.
So if I'm out there late at night, I've got to get some firewood.
We've thought of all that. So it's not only just that, but it helps you with your line of cut as well.
Now, this being a more powerful machine, I've seen on the website, I think, a battery recommendation.
So we do suggest 7.5 and up.
And I think we put a 12 on there, I think.
So yeah, I've got a 12 on there at the moment, but 7.5 and up to get your optimal performance. Anything lower, you're not going to get your same change speed. So if you put a 2.5 or a 5, you're likely to get 20 metres per second, ranging between 20 to 25. Sure. So 7.5 though will deliver the maximum speed.
Final obvious question is price point?
Price point. So sell it as a skin, $749.
All right, and you said before equivalent of about 60cc.
Correct.
Which is much cheaper than what you're getting from a petrol variety.
Yeah, especially if on the platform, and that's the beauty, right? The platform is the batteries can be interchanged with any of our products. The more batteries you got, the more runtime you got, but the more interchangeability you also have.
So if you're a contractor that's doing a variety of services, tomorrow you're doing chainsawing, you can take the batteries that you're using on whatever machine you were using on, chuck them in this.
Spot on. And that includes even our new lifestyle product as well.
Let's get into that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you're going to let me do any burnouts on the carpet, unfortunately.
No, I already have.
Well, this is the, this is the fun stuff, I guess. Well, some of this is serious work stuff, but I like that you guys are getting into this because it makes sense. You're a homeowner who's already got the tool for the mower, or a contractor who's already got the battery for the machines you're using. Get one of these and...
Well, you know what, 2024 has been it's been a pretty solid year for us, as not only have we done multi-generational improvement, but we've now done system expansion. So, you know, what you see here is an increase in lighting. We did have a misting fan laying around somewhere, but you've got inverters, so we go up to 400 watt. Watch out for what's coming next. You've got a wet and dry vac, you've got a pressure washer, that's also peak power. And yes, it's 6.5 litres per minute, but I can tell you now, this thing packs a punch for what it is. So, and it's got an extendable long hose. Everything is controlled by the actual wand itself. So if you're on the other side of the vehicle, if you need to put on full pressure to get under your wheel arches, great. Then reduce it for your Juco. Brilliant for four-wheel drive, guys. And then of course, we've got the auger. So we haven't got the bit in it at the moment.
That's for digging holes.
That's for digging holes. So the auger itself, it's done pretty well. We've got a lot of commercial guys interested in it. It's got anti-kickback. You can range it anywhere between 100 mil up to 250 mil in terms of the auger. It comes as a skin with a 200 mil auger with it as well.
Now this is spring-loaded?
Spring-loaded.
Meaning that if I lose control, it doesn't just keep spinning.
Correct. It's got that anti-kickback. So it'll identify the torque. And there's been a couple of guys actually putting this on YouTube and posts saying that this is quite unique for an auger.
Well, I've just seen some funny TikToks over the years of people having to try and stop these once they go.
Oh yeah,
not
once
these
they go.
Specifically, but other petrol
augers
brands.
in general, right?
Yes.
So
it's entertaining to watch, but I wouldn't want to be that person. Yeah. Lights, and then obviously the mini bike.
The mini bike, wow, it's...
I don't know how this is going to be efficient for my business, but I've got to work out a way so that my accountant can do some interesting work there.
I'm sure you can find a way.
Disclaimer, don't do that, don't be silly. But this is fun.
Yeah, so this is also peak power. So 2 batteries, it comes in either skin or kit. The kit has 2x7.5s as well as the turbo chargers. So in terms of skin, it's 2.5 versus 3.5 in kit form. So look, it's a recreational mini bike. It's not a monkey bike. It's a recreational bike that should be used on personal land, not on public roads or public land. So, there's a lot of legalities around this. So we've just got to be aware of that. And
is there a weight limit?
There is, 100 kg.
And then what about speed and distance?
Speed, so 3 modes, but let's talk sports. 45 kilometre top speed, and that will get you approximately 22 kilometre distance. Now, of course, as you reduce the mode, you will reduce the speed, but you'll increase the distance.
And it depends on the battery configuration, the
All of
weight
that.
of the person on it. If
Yeah.
you're going uphill and downhill,
Yeah.
like everything.
But that sports mode measure is based on 2x7.5s.
Okay, awesome. And price point.
Price point. So we're talking 2.5 as a skin or 3.5 with kit. So two 7.5s and your turbocharger.
Now, here's your multi-tool. This is a domestic
It is
item.
domestic.
You told me you reckon majority of people are buying it commercially.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you've listened and something else is coming out soon, I'm guessing.
There will be a commercial version. Just returned back from China. It's all needs to be reviewed, executed, so timing to be advised.
But it's going to come one day.
And it will come one day, but I guess, yes, majority seems to be commercial users. I mean, just have a look. We've got a dozen tools here that's in a confined space. So for the guys that are limited in their trailers or their vans, you've got, again, more versatility here through the one power head. And there's obviously been an improvement being our second generation.
And the thing about this is when you buy a multi-tool, it might not be efficient from a contractor's perspective because you have to switch the tool all over, but when you are starting out, it's more versatile.
Perfect.
And the cost is greatly reduced on buying individual items.
And that's a good point too, Luke, that there's compelling value by buying these in the 4 kit, but even the hamburger with the lot, which is the 7 kit. 7-piece kit. So it gives a lot more, again, a lot more application with a lower cost, and especially for those that are starting out.
Now, we don't have time to touch on every tool.
Yep.
I do want to touch on these because I don't think enough contractors are getting these. There's 2 reasons why these are good. They're very clean cut, but they don't throw the waste.
Correct.
If you're going windows or rocks around those windows, pool fences, any of those glassed areas, commercial still leaves a lot of grass. These might be, depending on how quick you are, these might be slightly slower as an efficiency, but the safety is there. And we take a set like this whenever we're doing something that's dangerous. So
Yeah. The easiest way to explain that, it works like a hedge trimmer.
yes.
Okay. So it's not throwing the debris. And yes, the efficiency isn't going to be as good as a line trimmer, but it might save you a few dollars by preventing smashed windows, whether it's house, car, etc.,
Exactly.
or even throwing stones into a pool for argument's sake.
And it's a much sharper cut. So if
Yes,
you're
it
a
is.
cylinder enthusiast like me, it's a cylinder-like cut on
Yep.
the edge, which is much better than
Spot
your
on.
line trimmer.
Agree.
Thanks so much for coming on, mate.
Good on you, mate. Thank you for being here.
Now, people, you need to get your hands on some to try it out. You did say there's a money-back guarantee.
There is a money-back guarantee. To I guess meet all the demands that we get, we have offered that. So 30-day money-back guarantee.
And
Go
you
to the
can-
dealer.
You can go for just about any reason.
Absolutely. So if it doesn't meet your expectations or the application you're doing, no questions asked. Take it back to place of purchase. They'll refund and we'll handle it from there. So that's quite a unique offering. Unfortunately, we can't do demos for everyone.
No, it's hard. But
It is.
More people can get access to it. So, ego.com.au?
Absolutely. egopowerplus.com.au. So on there you can view all our products. There's also warranty portals, there's support portals, all of the above. So we're here.
And obviously, deals around the country. Again, thank you for coming on. Everybody else, we'll see you in the next episode.